Alright, so this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here at our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. And today we are going to go over our newest addition to our inventory. And this is being the car beside me here right now. It's a 1968 Plymouth GTX. Now as you can see, the one that we have sitting here right now, this is done in the midnight blue poly exterior paint. The paint on this car actually looks really well. It's been block and buff and looks really, really nice. Of course, as far as some of the accent stripes and so forth, those would be done in the frost blue. And as we walk around, you'll notice that stuff as we point it out to you. Now, as far as our GTX goes, of course, this would be the correct steel GTX hood for the car. It does have the 440 emblems in the scoops, and that is what's underneath the hood on here. This is a numbers match correct 440 cubic inch Mopar engine. And when we get around to the front, we open the hood, we'll talk more about that. But as far as our car, all the bright work, all the bumpers, the chrome bumpers, all of the bright work as far as the moldings around the windows, the drip rail moldings, lower body rocker moldings and so forth, these are all in good shape. Nice and straight, polished up really, really well, in good condition on this car. So we don't really need to point out each and every piece in the car, just kind of know that everything's in real nice shape. Obviously, you can see from the wheels and tires in this car that we've got 14-inch. These are the Magnum style, Magnum 500 style chrome steel wheels. And then as far as tires go, these are kind of like the original style Redline bias ply Firestone 7.75-14 tires, both front and on the rear. And the tread on these things is in really good shape. Just a nice classic look for this car. As far as the panel fitment goes, you can see the gaps on our door compared to the front fender, as well as the gaps compared to the rear quarter panel. Everything looks really good as far as that goes. All of the body lines all line up good on this car. You can see down below here is that frost blue stripe that I was talking about. That's the GTX stripe. And of course your lower body molding here on the rocker, real nice and straight and polished up well. Of course, you've got the GTX badging here also on the quarter panels as well. We have just the mirror over here on the driver's side. Chrome on that mirror is in great shape, as well as the glass on it. The glass on our driver's side door here, the vent window, your door glass, and the quarter window, all in good shape on this car. No chips, no cracks whatsoever. Like I said, you've got the bright drip rail molding. And as we run our finger through that rain gutter there, everything is nice and smooth there. Even your door handles, no pitting on that chrome. That looks good as well. We'll open up our door, take a look inside, and check out the interior now on the car. So inside you'll see the light blue interior. That kind of matches up with the frost blue stripe on the outside of the car. Factory dash, factory instrumentation, factory center console as well. Obviously you see that we've got the bucket seats up front, seat belts in the front as well as the back. Also, it does have the AM radio in there also. Factory heater controls as well. Factory steering wheel. Carpeting all looks good. The upholstery's in good shape. And of course, all of the door panels, same thing there. Now the other thing on these cars are the weather stripping and all your seals. All of that's in good shape. Your door jamb U seals here, the weather stripping up along the top side of the door here, that's all in good condition, nice and soft, no rips or tears and any of that. That all looks very good. Same thing with all the door weather stripping too, nice and soft. Matter of fact, this stuff here looks fairly new too for the car. Even got your little rubber bump stops on the door. So everything looks to be complete on the car, both inside and out so far that we've gone over. So we'll close this up and continue on around the car. Door shuts nice and easy also, and good and flush as well. As we come back here again, quarter panels, fenders, doors, all of that nice and straight the whole way around on this vehicle. We get to the rear of the car here. Obviously you see the GTX cladding back here on the rear tail panel and trunk lid. The tail lights themselves, the lenses and bezels, still in pretty good shape. The lenses, no chips or cracks whatsoever. The bezels themselves, these are probably the original bezels for back here, so all in all, not in bad shape. Of course, the rear bumper on the car, excellent condition, no pitting whatsoever on that. And then if you look down below, we've got a nice set of oval slash cut exhaust tips that come out right underneath that rear bumper. Now as far as the trunk lid goes, you can see the gaps and elevations the whole way around the trunk. Very nice. The elevations with these rear quarter panels match up really well in the car. Of course, you've got that nice curved rear glass in the car. All of your trim there, again, in nice shape. And again, that glass is in great shape too. No chips or cracks. Let's open up our trunk lid and we'll take a look inside there. So first off, the key does work in the latch. That all functions as it should. If we look at the hinges and the spring, that all works as it should, as it's holding everything up on its own. Done the same midnight blue poly on the underside of the trunk. You even have your jack instruction label up there on the trunk like you should. All of your weather stripping here around the trunk here is in good shape. No rips or tears there, nice and soft. Meets right together here in the center, so you should not have any problems with this car sealing up from the outside elements. Now inside the trunk, we've got a full-size spare in there on a steel wheel. We've also got the original bumper jack and the lug wrench in there also if you would need that. So that is the trunk. We'll close this up. Again, that closes nice and easy. And we'll come around the passenger side of the vehicle. Again, nice straight panels the whole way around. We've already discussed the wheels and the tires. We get to our door now on our passenger side. So now we can compare the gaps from the back side as well as the front side. And as you can see, those are pretty uniform. Again, all your body lines match up. You got that frost blue stripe on the bottom with the matching GTX badging on the rear quarter panel. And again, you've got that matching rocker panel stripped down the side, the trim there. Again, that's all in great shape. Door handle on this side, no pitting either. And the glass on this side, no chips or cracks there. We'll open it up from this side. That way you get to see it from both sides there. Again, upholstery's in great shape. There's no rips or tears in any of the seat upholstery. Your dash panel, there's no cracks on the dash pad itself. Again, dash is in great shape. The carpeting, there's no rips or tears there. Door panels are in great shape. Like I said, you do have the AM radio up there and then a set of speakers in the rear package tray as well. Overall, interior looks good. And again, the weather stripping and seals around the doors and the windows, all in good condition. We'll close this up. Again, that side shuts too. Just as nice. You've got the fender top mounted antenna here. Again, we've got the matching 440 emblems in that scoop there on the hood. And then that brings us around to the front end. So on the front end of our car, obviously, we've got the chrome bumper here. No pitting on that chrome bumper at all. That looks good. You've got the GTX grille with the GTX badging right in the center of it. The grille's in great shape. There's no cracks. There's no breaks in any of that. You've got your headlights, highs and lows. These are just traditional sealed beam unit glass lenses. And again, the glass lenses are in great shape. There's no cracks or chips in any of those. Of course, this is our steel GTX hood. It's got those dual scoops on it. We've already pointed out to you all of the emblems and badging that's on it. Obviously, you can see your gaps the whole way around on the hood and elevations. Those are really nice on this vehicle as well. Windshield, that's in good shape too, along with the wipers and the molding all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and open up our hood next. That way we can talk about what we have underneath. So with the hood up, obviously we know that the hood latch itself works as that functioned as it should. We've got the hinges and the springs here. Those are all functioning as they should too and working exactly the way that they were designed. And as far as the engine compartment, this would be correct for a Mopar. They always did the engine compartment the same color as the exterior of the vehicle. Same thing with the underside of the hood. Now as far as the motor goes, as we've already mentioned at the beginning of our video, this is the original correct numbers matching 440 cubic inch motor for this car. As you can see, it retains the factory air cleaner on top. It's got the, I believe this was the Thermoquad, I think is what the carburetor was on here. Cast intake on it. as well as cast heads and the cast manifolds for the exhaust. You can see it's also got the painted valve covers with breathers and so forth. As far as the ignition system goes, they've kind of kept with the stock style ignition, the style, stock style points with coil and so forth. Plug wires have been upgraded obviously throughout time, so that's all going to fire correctly there for you. And as far as cooling, you've got a factory style radiator here with a shroud, and looks to be probably about a 6-blade fan in there, I'm thinking. Now on the inside of this car, again, one of the things that the Mopar guys always like to see on these cars are the fender tags, and this car does have it. So that's all intact here, so you're going to be able to see what all the codes are on the car. Alright, so we are now underneath our 1968 Plymouth GTX, so we're going to go through this car as we always do, going through the underside, going over steering, suspension, driveline, frame, floors, exhaust system, wheels, tires, you name it, we're going to go over that. So starting at the front of the car, let's go over the cross member and front suspension here. So it does have the stock K member in it here, stock suspension to all your stamped steel components here as far as your upper and lower control arms. That's what you have, all your factory stuff here. Ball joints and all of those all look to be in good shape. As far as the steering on this car, it is a power steering car. Tie rods nice and straight, ball joints all have the rubber dust boot covers on them, and you can tell everything's been greased and maintained on this vehicle. We also have the factory sway bar up front, the sway bar bushings at the frame, as well as at the end links. Those are all in good shape too. And as with most of our Mopars here, you're going to have that torsion bar front suspension, which you have that here. Again, all of your bushings and so forth are all good. You also have the strut rods that go from your control arms, lower control arms, to that front frame there to keep everything all in alignment there. All the way out at the ends then, as far as the brakes go, this is a manual brake car. It's 4-wheel drum brakes. That's how this car came from the factory, but still it stops very well. And then wheels and tires all the way out at the end. It retains the factory style Magnum 500 style wheels. These are the chrome wheels, and then they are 14-inch, and as far as the tires, it still retains the bias ply Firestone 7.75-14-inch tires, Redline tires on this car, so it still retains that nice classic look to it. We'll move inboard just a little bit, and now we'll talk about the driveline on this car. So first and foremost is the engine. This is the 440 Mopar motor. This is the correct original motor for this vehicle. Behind that, we have a 727 automatic Torqueflite transmission. The transmission pan as well as the oil pan on the engine, all nice and dry, free from any leaks or drips. The transmission also has the flywheel cover on the front of it, so that's going to keep any kind of dirt and debris out of there, keep from chipping a tooth off of your flywheel. Transmission cross member, nice and straight the whole way across on this car. The mount itself is in good shape. Tail shaft on the transmission, the seal at the back of that where your slip yoke slides into from your drive shaft, that is nice and dry also. Of course, the drive shaft, balanced unit, that's going to eliminate your vibrations that you might have in your drive line. And then of course the rear end. This is the Mopar 8 3/4-inch rear end. This is a POSI unit in here, 323 gear ratio. Now as far as the rear suspension, you can see it's got the multi-leaf rear suspension. It's got a set of KYB Excel G gas shocks here. Those look to be in good shape. And then like I said, we've already gone over 4-wheel drum brakes and gone over the wheels and tires. We'll move back forward here again and talk about the exhaust system. This has a set of the stock cast exhaust manifolds. Of course, dual exhaust all the way back. Does have the crossover pipe here also. It's got a set of just regular style mufflers, regular kind of like maybe a turbo style muffler here. And then of course the correct style tailpipes that go up over top of the rear end. And then they exit right out underneath that bumper on the back. Nice set of chrome slash cut oval exhaust tips back there. And as far as the frame and the floors on the car, The front subframe here all looks to be in great shape, nice and straight, good and square the whole way back. Of course, like I said, your transmission cross member here, that's all incorporated along with the torsion bars also. That is all in good condition too. The floors on this car, now you can see they do have undercoating on them, but this would be the factory undercoating. I don't really see any kind of patching or anything in these floors. They all look to be in good shape. You can see all of the factory stamping lines and everything. All of your bracing and your mounts are all here present also. And the other thing, you can see all of your cables and such for the emergency brake on this car. Everything is all hooked up and everything is functional on it. So with that said, that's pretty much it for the underside of our Plymouth GTX.